welcome to Wrestling and Everything Coast to Coast with your host, Buddy Sotelo Esquire, and our guest host from Canada, Jonathan Schwartz from Slam Wrestling, and glad to have you here. And our guest for tonight is Jay Sizzle from the Independent Wrestling Federation known as Steel Town Wrestling. And
that was really close, my brother. It's Steel City Championship Wrestling. Yeah!
Steel City. Sorry. My apologies there.
That's all right, my brother. That's all right.
And you're operating out of Colorado?
Yes, sir. We're actually out of Southern Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado. Thus the name Steel City. It is has been known as a steel mining town, a steel running town for since the turn of the century, the first time. And by God, like I tell you, I'm trying to connect right now with the livest Mexplex El Mexicano Más Vivo. That way we can get this interview going for you guys, and definitely appreciate you guys having us on, because as I say, this is, of course, Day 301 of the longest reigning current SBBC Elite Champion of the world, the livest Mexplex. And I'll tell you what, guys, yesterday marked day 300, and he is the longest reigning acknowledged champion. And I'll tell you what, guys, it's awesome to be able to give you this opportunity to spend this time with you guys, man. I'm so happy to be here, and I love Canada. I got some good friends. Shout out to my people in Saskatoon. Oh yeah, got to show love to them out there. And yeah, man, just like I said, it's a pleasure to be on with you guys.
And so why don't you tell me how you got started in pro wrestling?
You know what's funny, my man? Like I say, I personally, as you can see, I'm obviously a entertainment coordinator. I am a disc jockey, live on-air personality. I am a television personality, and I was never really into pro wrestling. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I think you guys are like, oh my God, I love wrestling, right? Okay, here's the deal. I don't. Well, I never did. Let me rephrase that. I was never really, too big into the nowadays wrestling. I love, obviously, Undertaker. Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, of course, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, all of these greats that, that I grew up with. I had a love for pro wrestling. I loved it. All right. I grew into it. My son grew into it. He loved it. Now he's a commentator as well. Like I say, he is what drove my desire to be part of the pro wrestling industry. And roundabout, ended up speaking with a young man by the name of Jason Gribble, who owns Renegade Championship Wrestling out of Kansas City, Colorado, and asked me to come in, do some promoting for him. Actually, we're going to do some radio, some flyering, some posters, do a promotional package for the man. I came in, he didn't have a voice. And of course, well, the Sizzle has the voice. So, 2 and 2 made 29. And by golly, here we are 30 years later. And now it's all part of the blood now. It's part of the family. It's part of what we do. And like I say, I was luckily enough about 3 or 4 years ago, ran into the young man known as the livest Mexplex at a live taping. And I was set aside by his on his personality, his presence, his overall just joy and love of the industry, and everything that he was so passionate about actually gave me to become passionate again about the sport of pro wrestling. Yes, it's a sport. How dare you? The audacity. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, that's how it all became to be. That's how the Sizzle got involved with it, and that's how I got involved with the livest Mexplex. And like I said, if we can get him on the air here, we're definitely gonna do our best to get him on. Then you can. Like I said, you guys can fall in love with the enigma known as the livest Mexplex himself. But yeah, my brother. So I guess. You know a little bit more about me now, but I don't know much. And my followers, I'm not sure if they know much about you guys, but please tell us all about you while I'm trying to find.
Well, we're not here to talk about us. We're here to talk about you. You are the guest. Jonathan, you got some questions for our guest.
Actually, I got one just to kind of start off with. You mentioned that you were brought in to kind of work on the promotion side first for another promotion, and now you've kind of run with your own thing.
Yes.
I'm curious, as somebody who's just been a lifelong fan, been to a ton of indie shows up here in Ontario. We actually had our own Steel City Championship Wrestling over at the next town over in Hamilton, Ontario, which is also a long time Steel City as well.
Very nice. Very nice.
them, Pittsburgh as well, I think, is the biggest of all of them. But I'm curious, for somebody who's kind of, always had that view from the cheap seats. Can you walk me through what it's like to actually promote a show? What are the steps that you take to go from having the idea to bring a show, to bring it live, and to, most importantly, getting the butts in the seats?
Yeah, well, that's the important thing right there. That's the whole thing about pro wrestling is, butts and seats. Obviously, that's your goal as a promoter in any promotional thing. And that's kind of where I came in. That's where my expertise is, like I said, I'm used to doing, concert promotion. I managed some of the best hip hop and R&B artists of our time. I actually did a lot with Def Jam Island, and I've worked with, NB Riders. Not sure if you're all familiar with them, Bone Thugs and Harmony, a lot of the Latino Chicano rap artists here in the States. And so that's my background. I did a lot of, obviously, radio, a lot of concert promoting, a lot of, midget wrestling. Let's go that route. They don't like to be called little people wrestling, whatever. So that's my foray, is promotions and marketing. That's what I am. That's my wheelhouse. That's what my shoot position is obviously I'm a marketing and promoter. And as such, like I said, I found a real need in our region, if you will, in our location for pro wrestling. Oh my God, up north, Denver area, Colorado Springs area, a lot of really, really phenomenal pro wrestling out there. Primo's Pro Wrestling's out there, Colorado Springs Pro Wrestling. You know what I mean? A lot of these major guys are up in the northern areas, ran by a lot of really big names. I think Al Snow's connected with some of the connections up north. And like I said, but down here, the people, there's, first of all, in our city, in the still city where we are from, there's not a lot for families, not a lot for kids, not a lot for people to get involved in, other than, the really bad things out there in the street. There's a lot of gang activity, unfortunately, a lot of really bad scenarios, a lot of lower income in our area. Okay. And so as a father and as a man, I knew that I needed to bring something, positive. And of course, meeting the Livest Next Flex, hearing his background, everything that he's been through in his life, we kind of connected with one another on a deeper level and said, what, let's do something for these kids. Like I said, we, annually we do things, Thanksgiving, Christmas, et cetera, et cetera. But I said, there's got to be more for them. There's got to be something to get them off the streets, get them, entertained, get them excited about something that can, like you said, bring these families together, something just positive, that this, just positivity is what we needed. It's what we wanted to do. And like I say, this is the perfect avenue for that. People think, oh, pro wrestling, oh, blah. They see, well, a lot of the people say, oh, it's violent or it's this, it's that. And it's not, it's, a lot more to it than what the people see. A lot of it, they see,
it's violence, but it's controlled violence. It's violence.
They're beating them with chairs. Oh my God. They're bleeding.
Got some level of control to it.
Exactly. Now, like I say, it takes, the science behind it, the psychology behind it, everything like that. We could teach these youngsters that, there's better channels to do these. And you ain't got to be out there shooting each other. You ain't got to be out there causing trauma. We try to get some of these kids in for some training, and get them involved and excited about something about, you can be a superstar. You don't have to be doing all these other things. You can get yourself involved in these. You can build the body, you can build the mind, you can become a character. You can live out a lot of your fantasies you can be a heel. You can be the most hateful, most disgusting, horrible person you could ever be. Or of course you can be, the light of the people. You can be the people's champion. You can be anything that you want to be. And it all starts with having that desire, getting these kids involved in something. And that's where all this came into play. And like you said, hey, butts and seats, I love it. That's what we do. So a lot of it, we're old school. Down here in the States, in at least my portion of the United States, closer to the West Coast, we're into, hitting the streets. We love flyers, shaking hands with the people. We're out there, like I says, at meet and greets, constantly at meet and greets. We're constantly at, like I says, at Thanksgiving food giveaways, at food distributions, at homeless people type things. We out there just reaching the lower communities. That's a lot of the problem out here in this part of the United States, is a lot of, like I said, just a lot of low income, a lot of just really hard times going on. Right. I think that's across the United States, at least, maybe even into Canada. A lot of people dealing with a lot of things right now. And we got to find a way for them to say, well, like, I'm even gonna get my kids some school clothes, or I'm gonna, we're gonna be entertained. Well, why can't we have them entertained and give give them something as well? I mean, why does it have to be that they can't have like I said, we keep things reasonably priced. We try to do things, especially like kids, 10 and under, you get them free. Boom. You know what I mean? Bring your kids out, enjoy yourselves, blah, blah, blah. And of course, Plex, I wish he was here to speak for himself as well, but he kind of keeps that same ideal that I do. Like we don't, our merch tables is, you can find something for $1, $5, I mean, good quality merchandise, like the Live Next Plex hats available now. You know what I mean? But we try so hard to reach these children and give them something, like I said, a hero to look up to, like we did. When you saw Ric Flair initially, or when you saw Andre the Giant, these larger than life characters, these wonderful, just giants of the theater and of the screen. And I say that because they are theatrical and they are freaking a presence that's, like Vince McMahon put into it. It's, it's like a rock star mentality. These guys are just larger than life, just wonderful attractions. And that's kind of how it all started back in the day as well. As it was almost like a circus atmosphere. These were attractions. Come see the giant freaks. I'm still a freak. But and that's what it's about. Just giving them that.
Jay Sizzle, have you always been a promoter, or have you done any of the booking, or have you ever actually done managing it by?
You know what? I do manage. Like I said, I do manage Live as Next Plex. I manage a couple others as well. But that's my foray. I've always been a promoter. I've always been an entertainment promoter. So I'm an actual. So that's the other thing too. I'm I portray a manager, obviously, right, in our industry, but I'm legit.
But do you book your shows as well? Are you in charge of the booking?
What? I am not the booker. I'm not. That's the funny thing too, because I helped with multiple promotions, right? And everybody thinks that's the thing. It's so long. Everybody has come to me. They follow my pages, they follow my sites, and they say, "Oh my God, I want to be part of your promotion." And for the longest time, it wasn't my promotion, but because of the person that I portray and the manner in which I carry myself and the hard work that I put into promoting these events, they thought it for the longest time, "Oh my God, you're the owner. How do I get on your show?" I'm like, "You don't get on my show." So I had to direct them, obviously, the right channels so they can get booked and they can have all their, their matches and all that sort of thing. I don't do that. I do have people that do that for us. Obviously, like I said, I'm the owner, proprietor, the CEO, the president, the voice. But I do have my people that are my bookers as well. Like the people that I'm hands-on with everything. So I got my hands a little bit in the storylines. Not to go into too much detail. But like I said, as a matter of fact, Plex's people, let's just go that route, are booking agents. They are the people that book the events, that book out the shows, that script everything out as far as that's concerned. I don't know if we could disclose that, but you know what I mean? So yeah, I got our people to take care of all that. Me personally, I'm this is actually Plex's brainchild with Still City. It was his passion project, and he brought me in because of what I do. And again, my thing is, like you said, butts and seats. That's my main thing. As far as like talent coordination, as far as like you said, the booking, as far as the actual in-ring work, that all is Plex's group. That's his baby right there. And like I said, I'm just here to be the face and the voice of pro wrestling. That's about it. But yeah, I still haven't been able to find the link. Did you send it to the Jay Sizzle page?
I sent it to your Facebook message.
Okay, I've got it right here.
Yeah, it's a. So, tell me where you get your talent from. Do you have a school, or do you just like put out the fly leads out to
my talent?
All the guys that get in the ring, all the guys and gals that get in the ring.
I know what you're saying, brother. So no, our talent actually, like I said, we've been in this industry for so long, and we've actually gone out there and we've done what we do so often. And like I said, we hit the whole United States. I mean, we've been from the East Coast to the West Coast, North, South, and the locker room etiquette. You know what I mean? The way that Mr. Jimbo Lucas was actually the man that brought the Live as Next Plex into this. And like I said, I've been his manager for the last couple of years here, and but just everything that he instilled in him has been able to transcribe into this booking, this talent booking. And because of his passion for the industry and everything that he puts into it, has actually drawn these other talents into where we are now. So they actually come reaching out to us. So it's hey JC, how can we be part of this? Or JC, I love what you're doing. We want to be part of that. You know what I mean? Here's our resume. So I ask them, I need your EPK. So if you want to be in Steel City Championship Wrestling, we need your EPK, electronic press kit. Okay, we want your bio. We're gonna need some pictures. We're gonna need some video, and you go ahead and send it to Steel City Championship Wrestling at gmail.com, and we get it in the right hands, and they look it up, and like I said, we'll reach out to you. And but yeah, like I said, we're definitely looking for young talent. We're looking for veterans that are willing to work with these younger generations as well, to teach them and to pass on their knowledge to them. But we also, we want to have these veterans in the game as well, because hey, they're going to put butts in seats, like you said. Bottom line is butts in seats. And so anybody that's got the talent, that's got the drive, that's got the work ethic, that's putting the time in the gym, it's putting his time in the ring. You got to keep your training up, guys, because that's very important. We don't want you out there hurting each other. You need to be able to take care of yourself and your partner, obviously, in the pro wrestling industry. And so that's very important to us. So it's not like, oh, look at this guy. Oh man, he sure looks good. Let's get him in here. But he has no idea what the hell he's doing. We're obviously not going to put anybody in any kind of danger whatsoever. You know what I mean? There's obviously inherent dangers in all of it, and we all know those things as well. But bottom line is, like I said, our talent is, like I said, it's all top end talent that's been scouted, and it's actually that we've worked with personally, either on a personal level, or we have a direct link to another promoter that has said, okay, well, I think this guy. So we get a lot from each other. And that's the other thing that we're trying to bring to Southern Colorado pro wrestling as well, is because unfortunately, in this industry, there's a lot of politicking, a lot of really bad things going on in that side of it. And we're trying to stop all that. We're trying to say, you know what? Hey, there's enough talent out here. There's enough money out here. There's enough if we can work together as a family, as a pro wrestling family, as an industry. There's no reason for us to try to undercut anybody else. There's no reason for us to try to backstab anybody. There's no reason for any of us to be trying to do any of these underhanded things to other promoters, all that sort. Like I say, there's beautiful promoters out here that we'd love to work with. And like I said, we have no issue with working with our brothers up in North in Denver, brothers down in New Mexico and Texas. So we've got a lot of family, pro wrestling family in these areas as well. And I think that's what's missing here. As far as the indie pro wrestling circuit is, there's so much talent out there, and there's so much like good quality bookers, and you know what I mean? And I think that that's one of the things that we as Steel City are trying to bring into the industry is more brotherhood. I mean, like the old school, we want it to be, back where we're running the circuits together. Hey guys, we can, let's bring out major talent and bring it to point A, B, and C, and let's all work together to bring it for the people. Because these people out here that give their money and that are supporting us, they're the ones, that benefit from all this. We're not getting rich off this, per se. But at the same time, these people, they deserve good quality events. And there's, like I said, there's so much quality talent out there. There's so much quality pro wrestlers. There's so much quality managers. There's so much quality escorts. All these, referees, all the way down the line. Everybody's just so talented out here in our regions specifically, and throughout. I mean, like I said, from North Carolina, Tennessee, New Mexico, Arizona. All these places where we've been. North Carolina, South Carolina, the entire, St. Louis, everywhere along the line. There's just so much just. And you see, and that's funny because the further east you go, the more love you see. And the further, it seems like the further southwest you come, the people start getting a little bit more kind of sketch. It gets a little bit more backstabby. And it's like, and I'm in the kind of person, that's where my perspective, from a fresh perspective, being outside of this industry, is I didn't come up in the industry like the rest of these guys. I don't have that on my shoulder, like, oh, well, I'm better than this person, or I think that they're wrong and I'm right, and the only way is this. And I'm not of that school. I'm of the sense that you know what? We're all entertainers. We're all athletes. We're all, we work the hardest to be at the top of our game, whatever it is that we're trying to do. Let's do that. Let's.
Jonathan, you look like you had something to say. Why don't you?
Yeah.
You're Canadian.
Yeah, it's hard to get through.
I'm Canadian. I
White. You won't
I just
interrupt anyone.
apologize.
Yeah, he's so Canadian. He won't interrupt somebody. I've got the candy stripe hook on you. I gotta pull you in for a sec so that Jonathan can get a question in.
No worries. I was just going to ask, because you said a couple of really interesting things. You spoke about the fact that you're trying to bring new talent into the business. You're working with local kids to try and give them a shot, so that they have something really constructive to do with themselves. And if it turns into, whether it turns into an actual career in the ring, great. If not, I imagine there's all kinds of other things you learn just between, the kind of training, the discipline that's required to make it on any level in this business, that kind of thing. But you also kind of spoke about the etiquette in the locker room and that kind of thing. And I wonder, as an independent promotion, when you bring guys in who've got broader experience or who've worked in, bigger, more nationally known outfits or internationally or anything like that, and you have those kids who are just kind of at the beginning of their journey within wrestling, and you've got everybody in between, how do you build, well, I guess the first question is, how often do you run that you actually get to give everybody a platform where they get to perform? And
well, right now, like I say, we run monthly, because I don't want to oversaturate. There's so much going on here in this region, unfortunately, where I don't want to make it, like I said, I'm trying to be those people that will give and say, you know what, go see these people, go see Primos, go see Renegade, go see Motivate, go see these other, see them. Because unfortunately in this area, it's kind of oversaturated with a lot of the same talent. So people have to kind of say, well, am I going to go see this show with this people, or am I going to go see this show with the same people? Which is another reason why I try to bring in talent from outside. Try to bring in as many, like I say, regional, and not so much local, but more regional. But we do, like I said, I want to groom these youngsters locally so that they can move out from here and get on the road and get themselves known in other places and be seen in bigger, larger venues, like you're saying. And but yeah, so that's kind of where we are right there. But and then not only that, but like I said, on the other side of it, because I am an entertainment, I was an entertainment manager for the longest time, still am. I like to do that as well. So as far as getting their faces out there, I like to, in my promotion in particular, I like to, we stress really hard, hey, like this right here, interaction, the live promos. You got to be able to, I want you to be able to interact with these kids. I want you to be able to be in the crowds. I want them to see your face. I want to know, what you're about, what's your story, what's, how can you sell yourself outside of, just bouncing around, all this sort of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, pro wrestling, that's it. But there's so much more to this, especially now, like the McMahons. They brought sports entertainment into it now. Of course, AEW is bringing back, more of the wrestling, which is awesome. But again, it's the sports entertainment is where I'm interested in bringing it back to. I like I said, I want for these kids to be able to, if you don't want to do the wrestling, then hey, maybe you can be a video producer. We can get you on here being a voice. You can be commentating, or you can be, any angle of it. You could be learning the physics. You could be learning the muscular, how to help people with training, how to get them physically fit, keep yourself, athletically ready to go. And that's, like I said, these are all little things that, a lot of people don't realize that pro wrestling is all encompassing. All these wonderful things, come together to make this art form, the pro wrestling. And so that's what we do. Like I said, we give them obviously their in-ring time, and we give them in their training time as well. There is like multiple awesome training facilities throughout this region. And, we love to see them out there. And matter of fact, there's a lot of different, I keep mentioning Primos because they're freaking awesome in Denver, but they have a lot of major networking events where you can come out and learn from, like Kalisto, or learn from these major guys that have already done big things, and they bring them in, and these kids go out there and they train there and they learn from them, and that's the other things that kind of pad your resume too. That's the things we're talking about in that EPK that we want to see is, well, how many of these sessions have you had? How many of these trainings have you had? How many of these other interactions have you had? What have you learned from these interactions? You know what I mean? What can you use in like a scenario like this here? What can you bring to sell yourself? You know what I mean? Because that's bottom line. That's all it really is selling yourself. If the people love you, they love us.
So from the other side of the coin, what is it that you're looking for?
If
somebody says they want to work with you guys, what is it that you want to see?
Let me tell you something. As far as myself, I don't know if I should give you the industry answer or should I give you my personal answer. So, like I said, obviously, I want to see for the people that I'm managing.
Your personal answer, by the way, the answer to that is we always want your personal answer. We know what the industry answer is to it.
Right. So my personal, okay. So here's my thing. From myself, I would like to see, like I said, I would like to see, because I've been in the entertainment industry for like over 30 years now. So I don't really need anything for myself from it. But I would like to see, like I said, I would just like to see, like I said earlier, I would like to see more unity in this community. I'd like to see these guys, coming together more. I come from a weird background. Like I said, my father was a pastor. He taught me to be the person that I am right now. And so, like I said, I'm more interested in, like I said, is getting these kids out of trouble, bringing these people together and with the common bond of this pro wrestling industry. I mean, I would love to see for like I said, for some of these kids to be able to get out of their situation and move forward into something freaking phenomenal. You know what I mean? Some kind of career of some sort that, it's going to help them and their families. That's my personal thing is like that. Like I said, I want people to succeed in their life. I want to see people do things.
But I think what Jonathan was getting to, if I may retranslate what you're saying, is for the talent that you use. Is this where you were going at? What are you looking for specifically in the kind of wrestlers that you bring to your federation?
So what kind of talent are we looking for?
Yeah,
or more broadly, since you mentioned any number of other roles that somebody can have, with you guys, and the different skills that they can develop. What kind of separates? I imagine you get a ton of people who are interested or who at least have some degree of interest. What is it that gets somebody in the door? What is it that gets somebody into this?
So what are we looking for? Okay, I am looking for, like I said, I'm looking for someone that's got some character. I mean, I don't want someone, that's just going to come in there and, like I said, just go, just see a lot. That's funny that you mentioned that, actually, because we get a lot of, especially in my region, there's a lot of backyard wrestlers, right? And these guys, I've been wrestling for years. I'm awesome. I'm the greatest thing ever. Watch this, and then they'll throw themselves off something, or like, really, dude?
I'm the champion of the couch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not interested in that. Okay, like I said, I'm more interested in, like I said, someone that's got that personality. I want to see somebody that's able to work well with others, that's coachable. I mean, I want to see somebody that's able to if you're able to put somebody over, that's phenomenal. You know what I mean? I don't want the person that's like, I'm the best and I've got to be the champion of this and I got to be, your head's. Bottom line is, when the opportunity comes knocking, if your head doesn't fit through the door, that's your problem. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody that's be able to, that obviously knows how awesome they are and has that confidence and has that, but they also, like I said, are willing to work with one another and give out what needs to give. I would like to see, like I said, I would love for everybody to be a champion, right? And I'd love for everybody to be, the top of the bale here. I want everyone to be, the biggest and best thing ever. But like I said, I'm really looking for somebody, like I said earlier, that puts in the work. That puts in that it's at the doing what they need to do. It's got the training going and keeping their training up to date. You can't just say, I trained for 3 years 7 years ago. Like, okay, what are you doing right now? You know what I mean? I used to be, okay, that's fine. What are you doing now? How are you maintaining your skill set? You know what I mean? You can say, I was the greatest swimmer in the world. Yeah. How long has it been since you jumped in the ocean? You know what I mean? Like I said, I need people that are actually at it. I need people that are, like I say, that are working on not only their physical, you know what I mean? But they're also working on their mental. Like I said, they need to know the psychology of pro wrestling. You know what I mean? You need to be able to show me that you earn a spot on Steel City Championship Wrestling, the home of the heroes. SCCB, doing it big in Southern Colorado and across the world. And not only that, but like I say, hey, you ain't got to be the best looking thing in the world either. I'd rather have a young man that puts his heart into it and trains every day, and he's willing to get out there and get his hands dirty and help put that ring together, or he's willing to, do his part to hand out flyers. He's willing to do his part to bring, like you said, butts and seats. I want to see someone that's an all around worker. Like I says, if you're not the biggest, strongest thing in the world, that's okay, because it is pro wrestling, right? We'll get you to where you need to be, but you need to be able to either go over, put people over, get your hands dirty, put in that work, put in that face time, and you got to be, you got to have that a certain something about you, or a willingness to be coached, willingness to be able to say, okay, I may not be the best at this. How can I work at that? How can I get better at what?
I got a question for you. Do you have a regular venue that you wrestle at?
You know what? Actually, we are in the process of switching up right now, because in Colorado, much like Canada, from October to January, we get snowed in. So there's not a lot of travel, a lot of anything like that. So we kind of shut down here locally in Pueblo till about March or so, from mid-November till February, March, we start bringing things back into things. All the way into April, it snows out here sometimes. But we are, like I said, us personally, we're on the road and we're networking with other organizations. So right now, you're going to be able to see us. We're going to be on television in Albuquerque, New Mexico on the 14th. So we're going to be with Duke City Championship Wrestling, and the Livest Mexplex is going to be going up against the Sid the Kid out of Duke City Championship Wrestling. It's going to be on Channel 26 locally in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I'll tell you what, there's still plenty of tickets available right now. All the front row seats are completely sold out, but I'll tell you what, kids, there's plenty of seats in the rafters. There are plenty of seats, front row, center stage, possibly standing room only, but get your tickets right now, dccw.com. But
will they have video of those matches later online?
Yes. Oh yeah, bro.
Matter of fact, I might be interested in checking.
Yeah, that's a great thing for you guys. Matter of fact, I've been writing to Plex this whole time. You think he answers me? No. He's a busy man though. So I'm actually looking right now. You can go to YouTube and you can look up Duke City Championship Wrestling, and you can see previous shows.
I'm just wondering if we're in the middle of a heel turn.
Maybe your guy is going with another manager.
I'm getting serious Mr. Wonderful Hulk Hogan 1985 vibes here.
Yeah, or you'll find out that he signed a new contract with another.
Well,
with Buddy Sotelo.
First of all, the audacity of you! How dare you speak it down upon the Livest Mexplex? I'll tell you what. The Livest Mexplex and the Sizzle. Oh my God. I can't believe that such words would come out of one's mouth. Obviously, you have no idea of the bloodline that runs deep within the heart and veins of Team Plex. And I am offended personally by your outrageous accusations, sir.
I'm going to change his name to Complex.
All I can say as a Canadian is, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to change his name to Complex.
I tell you what, but let me tell you something. Like I says, you know what? Let's just go this route. Whatever happens in New Mexico on November the 14th.
Won't stay in New Mexico.
You know what I mean? It's you know what? It's going to be on TV, so I mean, we can't keep it out there.
How did you make these connections with New Mexico?
Okay. You know what? I'll tell you, like I said, that's all part of this, brother. Like I said, it's, if anyone has been around the indie circuit knows that, you can't be stagnant. I mean, especially as a young professional wrestler coming up in this game, you got to make yourself available.
Do you travel to New Mexico?
Yeah, bro. Oh yeah. Okay. Like I said, we hit.
How far is it from?
Have you not seen WWE, sir? Yeah, we. I mean, dude, we've traveled. I think the furthest he's traveled, we've done 36 hours cross country a couple times. Yeah, and like I said, we we don't always fly. A lot of the times it's good to see cross country, stop in these little places that may or may not ever see a pro wrestler. I mean, that's part of the joy of the pro wrestling industry is getting, especially the indie wrestling industry, is you get to stop in these little places. You get to stop off at I don't know, Win Donald's, let's go that route. Or you get to stop off at Burger Bows or whatever it is, you know what I mean? You get to stop at these malls, sign autographs, I mean? That's all part of this as well. Like I said, that's part of the entertainment part of it is you go out there, you shake the hands, sometimes you shake the babies and you autograph those suckers and make them worth more than their family ever thought they would be. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's all part of it, man. Like I said, as far as that's these kids don't understand. These kids aren't getting that, I'm going to be a pro wrestler. I'm going to be on TV. Maybe. But you know what? Most of the time, you're going to be in your vehicle. Are you going to be sleeping in that vehicle? Are you going to be in a motel? Oh, my God, and a roach will run across the top of your pillow, and you'll have to complain to the management the next day. And, yeah, they'll give you your money back for the night. But, like I said, it's a hard road, guys. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's beautiful. As beautiful as it is, it's a hard fought road, guys. Matter of fact, now that you brought it up, so on Center Stage Network, which is the sister network of ICH Network, you can watch the new show, right? It's called, oh my God, Road to a Nation. Okay. The Plex Effect, PLEXXEFFECT. So the Plex Effect, The Road to a Nation. That is the new show. It's kind of like Heels or like something you'd see on Netflix, right? It actually follows the road of the Livest Mexplex from nothing to championship glory, and then possibly holding on to that. Or maybe not. I can't disclose that information. You have to tune in each week to see what happens to the Livest Mexplex. Will he be on the road? Will he be defeated in New Mexico? Will he carry his championship over for another 300 consecutive days as the people's champion, the Livest Mexplex?
Okay, I got a question.
Tune in.
So 301 days as champion. How many defenses?
That's right. Okay, say that again.
How many defenses?
You know what? He's had more defense than the Denver Broncos, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's not saying enough. That's enough.
That's quite a bit. Matter of fact, he's had more defense than the Dallas Cowboys.
How many matches has he had, though? How many title defenses?
Oh, my God. Let's see. So since he started championship, this has been 300. So it's been over a year. Matter of fact, what's funny is because so he's been the current reigning SBBC champion, and he's also been the SBBC tag champion with Texco, which is himself and a young man by the name of Jay Zilla. So Texco got that gas. Yeah, make sure you follow them. But yeah, so amongst the two of them, let's see, he has one at least. Okay, he has a match. Well, twice or three times a month he has different matches, but they are in different promotions. He's only able to carry the SBBC to 3 or 4 different promotions. So I would say within 300 days, it's been, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12, so 2 out of 12, so 24 championship.
Okay, that's, yeah, it's like two times a month, pretty much.
That is twice a month. Well,
that's not bad. That's
still a hell of a lot better than Roman Reigns.
Yeah, Roman Reigns is not the.
First of all, Roman Reigns is perhaps one of the greatest champions to ever live. Thus, hashtag Sizzle said it, so you can take
I would debate that.
But, you know what?
Openly
he's
against.
You know what? He's no. I mean, obviously, he hasn't had the opportunity to face the Livest Mexplex. You know what I mean? So he's still got a. He's still got a ways to go to Roman Reigns. But one day he may have the opportunity to face El Mexicano Más Vivo, and we can see. What's more powerful, the greatest Mexplex or the other side of the native industry over there, whatever his name is, that guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Will the Roman Empire last forever if it meets the Plexican nation? I can't say. There's a great possibility that the Roman Empire may fall to the Plexican nation, just like Timitakwa did in Mexico City, Mexico, in the year of 1746.
Now, I wanted to ask, who's the biggest name that's been on your card from the outside? I know Plex is your man, but not everyone outside of Colorado has heard of Plex, or in your region has heard of Plex. But I'm talking about, if you brought in any outside talent that maybe we've
yeah. As a matter of fact, the Livest Mex Flex, the Livest Flex Mex. The Livest Mex Flex has actually gone against Manny Lemons. I don't know if you're familiar with Manny Lemons.
Not familiar, unfortunately.
Oh my God. Devotion, bro.
Look, I can only know what I. But like anyone that's been on like AEW or Impact.
Oh yeah, matter of fact, you know what? It's funny because, like I said, he's been on the same card as. Let's see. Well, he hasn't been against anybody on AEW directly or WWE. Let's face it, he's a pro indie wrestler. But he has faced people that have been on AEW Dark. Okay. So if you're familiar with that, okay, he has faced what's his name? Big Guns, Justin Andrews. He was on AEW Dark quite a while back. He's faced him a few times. Matter of fact, they had the same coaching area. And I really wish he was here to give us out a little bit more. He went against what's his name?
I'm not just talking about him. I'm talking about your Fed. Have you had any outside talent work your Fed?
I have not. I'm not going to sit here and BS anybody. Like I said, we have we're relatively new to this industry, and so we personally have not been any major names into this. Which again is why
that doesn't mean you could make a major name. It doesn't mean you could make a major name. Us here in California Championship Wrestling had an unknown guy, skinny little kid by the name of Timothy Thatcher, work a number of matches for us, and he's a great guy, and you didn't know he's going to become a big deal, but he's become a big deal. So you never know when guys are going to turn into something huge.
You know what? I got to tell you, I've seen some. What? I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say that part of what, like, once you're a fan, I mean, WWE is great, AEW is great, Impact's great, but if you ever have the chance to actually go to a live indie show where you are, part of what makes it so much fun is that you see all these guys who haven't been there, but you just kind of get the feeling that they're gonna be something. So I had the chance, like 20 years ago, I was saying to Buddy before we got on air, 20 years ago, a friend of mine at law school, his brother was an aspiring wrestler. And we used to go to cards in the suburbs every month where he would basically be working against all these other guys. And the people who we got to see for like $5 at the time, and they weren't who they are in WWE now, but I saw Kevin Owens before he was Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn before he was Sami Zayn, and Cesaro before he was Cesaro, and whatever else he's been.
Claudia,
and like, you have this chance to at Eddie Kingston I saw. Bryan Danielson, like you get to kind of see all these guys on their way up. And if you're lucky enough that any of these guys do happen to hit it big, then, I remember when Kevin Owens won the Universal Championship in WWE. And as silly as it sounds, and I mean, he's, based in Montreal, he cut his teeth there. He worked the indies across the US and Canada and everywhere else. But, when one of these guys actually sees success on those stages, you kind of feel like you've been along for the ride a little bit. So, I mean, apart from the fact that you're going to see great action that you're never going to see in WWE or AEW because they're constrained in terms of what they do. And you're never going to get the same kind of, direct experience. You're not going to be like right on the guardrail, swearing at the bad guys and they come up to you and interact with you quite the same way. But it's a completely different kind of experience. And I think for my money, it's every bit, if not more fun than, just being a random face in a crowd, yards away from the ring.
You know what's it's funny that you brought that up is because we've been, I mean, because like I said, my son's a major fan of wrestling, right? So we're always at WWE. You've seen me on TV a couple times because I'm an idiot. But that's besides the point. But yeah, that's one thing is that these indie shows. I mean, oh my God, the interaction that you can get, like the passion that's there, not only from the fans and from the athletes themselves, but these people, they get so it seems like perhaps, because like I said, we all over the United States on indie circuits. And I mean, oh my God, but for instance, in Texas, we're there. And I mean, the scenario was that, Plex, it's funny. His entrance says Plex don't give it to you, but Plex got it brought to him, man. And I mean, they beat the hell out of Plex. And the fans were so impassioned by it. I mean, there was a moment when I couldn't do anything about it, but the man was handcuffed to the guardrail, and this huge behemoth was just beating down on Plex, and the fans. Oh my God, these fans! They were, there was a woman actually putting herself in wanting to get in harm's way to protect Flex, because you leave him, you face him, you're facing all of us. And I mean, the whole crowd is surrounded, security's trying to do what they can to keep everybody safe. And it's funny because you got a show to do, you're still putting on the show, but at the same time now you're going to watch out for these damn fans, everything else. But dude, like you say, it's just that connection that you get at a live indie show. I mean, yeah, WWE does a great job. I mean, there's plenty of phenomenal talent there. That they go out of their way, for instance, Cody Rhodes. What I mean? He went out of his way to visit with my son. He came down and grabbed his cell phone. He takes a picture with him, and you don't get that all the time. But at the indie levels, you kind of do, though. I mean, they're some of them are willing to come out. Especially the faces. We'll come out and do our part, and man, we love to see those children's faces, and the people, and interact with the people, and that's what I think that makes the major difference between us at the level where we're at this indie pro and the major pros like that is just the passion. Yeah, the passion is still there, but it's more at that level, at the higher levels up there. I think it's more theatrical than anything. But here, like I said, you can really get like you said, the one-on-one interaction with the crowds, man. Those people are right there, right on the guardrails. For just $25, they get that front row seat and a t-shirt sometimes. But they get to be, you get to be there, man. You get to man, and almost some of the smaller ones, you get to be just right freaking there, man. They got their signs and they're just you get to give me that damn, depending on what the scenario is calling for that day. And I think that's why I wanted to do what we're doing, because I wanted to give that passion to these kids. I wanted them to know what that feels like, because a lot of these kids, matter of fact, we had put together a few things for people locally, and I almost got in trouble for a couple of them, because we wanted to give these kids and families something that they couldn't otherwise get. Because coming up as youngsters, myself and Plex, we actually had to, we couldn't afford pay-per-view. What I mean? Or we couldn't be at this show, or we couldn't afford to do this show. And we always wanted to. We had to be from the outside watching in, because they didn't really have the indie things that we do here. Is basically WWE that was in a regional spot, but it wasn't like this close, this personal. The indie level wasn't, I don't think, the same as it is now. You know what I mean? And so that's part of the reason why we do what we do too. Going back to what you were saying, is that we want those people to have that opportunity that we never had. We want them to, 20 years from now, oh my God, I was in a show in Pueblo, Colorado, and this freaking guy looked like he jumped off the top of the freaking, and quit doing that, Flex. But
yeah, I have another question for you, because we're running out of time. But the NWA said it wants to reinitiate the territory system. Do you want Steel City to be part of the NWA? And if so, why? And if not, why not?
Well, let me tell you something. Right now, we're actually part of the longest ever governing body, AIWF, Allied Independent Wrestling Federation, and they've actually been longer than anybody else out there. This federation has, and they have 100 and something different territories put in there. But I mean, I think, like, again, anything that we can do as an organization, as a family, to bring some unity and bring some better things for the people. I'm all for that, actually, tell you the truth, you know what I mean? And I think that, but yeah, as of right now, we are AIWF, but hey, we're always willing to work and see what's going on out there, you know what I mean? See what people can bring to the table, if you will. And hey, we definitely don't mind coming to California. We're from California. I'm from Bellflower myself, Los Angeles County, baby. And we come out there to California, and we'll show you.
I'm in the Bay Area. I'm in the San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that. No.
Wow, man.
But no, yeah, brother. Like I said, we'd love to come out and visit you, man, and show you what Southern Colorado can bring to you guys out there.
Yeah,
man. But like I said, definitely.
Jonathan, do you have any last questions for?
Actually, I've got one. A little bit off topic. You'd mentioned before that your dad was a pastor.
Yes, sir.
And I'm always curious because it seems like for a business where, like you'd said before, there can often be a lot of shady stuff. There are also an awful lot of people in wrestling who either start out or become very religious. And I've always wondered how people kind of square that. How does one bring that into a business that can be as crazy as pro wrestling?
So, that's kind of a fine line. Because like I said, you can honestly, it's like any, I want to say it's like a drug, you know what I mean? It's like any drug. You can get addicted to it and you can go all the way this way, you know what I mean? Or you can go all the way this way. Some of us kind of find a little bit of a center ground, you know what I mean? Obviously, you've got to, depending on what your person is and what your personality is as a person, you know what I mean? You can go any way with it, you know what I mean? There's a lot of, now they crack down a lot more on the drug abuse and all this other crap that was involved with it. But yeah, matter of fact, a lot of the indie circuit, you can't, they won't let you smoke weed. In Colorado, it's perfectly legal, but you can't do it. You know what I mean? A lot of them just don't want it. And other places, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so that's kind of what it is.
You probably never heard of Hood Slam in Northern California then.
I have never heard of it in Northern California.
Hood Slam. That's like the all weed based federation here in NorCal. But that's a different topic for a different show. But
we definitely need to have Flex involved in that because SPDC
I could hook him up if he wants to come out to Hood Slam. I know the guys that run it. He could probably have get booked over here in NorCal one of these days.
Yeah, between you, me, and the wall, I'll have to write to you and let you know what SBBC stands for. But yeah, we'll definitely be willing to come down there and participate in that. Like I said, the Steel City Championship is a whole other thing. And Plex, because like I said, obviously he helps book. He's gonna do the right thing, and probably not be a champion anytime real soon. You know what I mean? If he earns his spot, yeah. But we're not gonna, we're not the people that are gonna say, oh, well, he's Plex. This is my man. He's automatically the champion. No, that's not the way it is. Everybody's got a fair shake at Steel City. Everybody's got the same opportunities as anybody else. You put in that work. You put the butts in the seats. You show us that dedication. You show us that the desire to be the champion. And you know what? You're going to be rewarded for everything that you do with Steel City. That's all there is to that. But man, hey, I'm sorry that we couldn't have the livest Mex Plex on here. Unfortunately, I wish that we could have. I'm sorry, I'm monopolizing the entire conversation. That's what I do.
Have him in on a future show. Why don't you give your plugs to everyone? To how people could get a hold of you if they wanted to.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what, guys. So again, if you are a professional wrestler and you want to be seen and you want to be heard by the greatest pro wrestling organization in all of Southern Colorado, Steel City Championship Wrestling. All you got to do is send your package to us, your EPK, to Steel City Championship Wrestling at gmail.com. And of course, make sure you check out this Saturday in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Watch channel 26 and see Duke City Championship Wrestling. It will be recorded live at Historic El Rey Theater on November 16th. There's still a couple tickets available for the Coronation Duke City Championship Wrestling proudly presents the livest Mexplex Kid Sid, whatever, who cares? Bottom line is, we're going to be there. It's going to be awesome. Get your tickets now. Check out the Livest Mexplex on all your favorite social media sites. Check out KICH Radio on all your favorite social media sites. Make sure you follow these men right here because they're awesome and they will let the Sizzle say all he wants and more. So you got our support, my brother. Thank you again for having me at least on here. I wish that we could have had the current and reigning 300-plus day champion of the world, SBC Elite, El Mexicano Más Vivo, the Livest Mexplex here on your show. But you know what? We'll definitely get him on as soon as possible. And I know I've been awesome.
We'll have you on again sometime on the show. And Jonathan, a real quick plug for yourself.
Wrestler's Court with Jonathan Schwartz on slamwrestling.net. My next column should be coming out next week. I'm looking at NXT and what's going on with them, given that they're heading to a much bigger network spot. Also, I would really love it if you would introduce me at meetings at work.
Well,
Okay, very good.
I need you to come to my office.
That's great.
You know what? I got to get to Canada.
Jay Sizzle, it's been great having you on as our guest, and we will have you on again in the future. Best of luck and everything else, and we'll see everyone again next week. Good night, everyone.
Appreciate you guys.